Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So my name is Norisa Tivita Abdurrahim. So I will explain what is ISA. So um, Diana will explain further about the cases of ISA. Okay. So ISA is an acronym of Internal Security Act 1960. So it was enacted on 1960 and repealed on 2012. Okay, so under this act, any action that are expected to threaten the security of the country or any part of it uh, that did by anyone can be detained by the police for 60 days straight without trial. So basically, without trial is the keywords for this act. Okay, so after that, the detainee can be detained again for a period of 2 years if approved by the Minister of um, Home Affairs after the 60 days. Okay, and then um, and at the same time, the detention can be continued again without trial. Okay, so that is the input of Act. So, Professor Madya Dr. Ismail Sulaiman said that the function of this act is to avoid racial divisions and ensure the national security. But honestly, as for me, I think this act violates or against the human rights because even though we are guilty, or especially if we're not guilty, we have the right to speak. So yeah, that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, so Assalamualaikum and very good evening. Okay, so my name is Nuriana and I am going to tell you guys about the famous cases of ISA in Malaysia. So for the first case is smuggling of frozen meat rampant in Kelantan and Sarawak. On December 22, police confirmed that frozen meat is being smuggled in several of the country's state borders. Without revealing more details, Bukit Aman Internal Security and Public Order Department Director Datuk Seri Abdul Rahim Jaafar said among the states facing this problem were Kelantan and Sarawak. And for the second case is about the two men who the two men who are linked to the terror group. Okay, and their legal proceeding undergo several developments because of legislative changes. So, former Internal Security Act, as I say, was implemented in 1960 and replaced by the Security Offence Special Measure Act. Um, on February 8, 2013, Yazid Sufaat and his co-workers Muhammad Hilmi, Hussein and his wife were arrested. They are accused of belonging to the Tanzim Al-Qaeda, Malaysia terrorist organization, and of having participated to its activity between August 2012 and February 2013. While Yazid Sufaat is charged for promoting terrorism in Syria from Kuala Lumpur. Yazid Sufaat has already been arrested and condemned to 7 years in prison under the ISA in 2001, only on suspicion of being part of the Jemaah Islamiyah terrorist network, which was behind a series of bombing attacks in South Asia, including Bali's 2002 attacks. That's all from me.
Okay, hi, good evening. Okay, my name is Hamzah Berasdi, and I will explain about copyright in broadcasting. Okay, so broadcast is to transmit a program or some information by the radio or television. And copyright is a legal means of protecting an author's work. Type of copyright in broadcast, it applies to original literary, dramatic, musical, or artistic works, sound recordings, films, broadcasts, or cables program. Many different types of content can be protected by copyright. Examples include books, poems, plays, songs, films, and artwork. In modern times, copyright protection has been extended to website and other online content. Therefore, any original content published on the web is protected by copyright law. This is important in the digital age we live in, since large amounts of content can be easily copy and paste. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, hi, I'm Mohammed Nofan. I will be explain more about copyright. Now, there are a lot of types of copyright. What I'm going to explain to you guys is copyright in terms of broadcast. Now, TV shows, films, whether broadcast on TV stations, played on DVDs, or viewed from the internet, are intended for personal and private use only. But if you wish to show the work in public, you must have a separate license that is specifically authorized the public exhibition of that work. So, according to the Malaysian Copyright Act, only the copyright owner holds the exclusive right to cause the communication to the public. So some limited exceptions do exist when performing the work for purposes such as private study, criticism, review, or the reporting of current events to all of the public. And other public performances of videos are illegal unless they have been authorized by license. Now, you may ask, who has ownership of the copyright content? So, copyright in films is generally owned by the person who arranged for the film to be made. For example, the producer, the production company, or the person or company who commissioned the film, unless there is an agreement to the contrary. So, if your film was not commissioned, for example, a home video, then copyright is owned by the person who created the film. So, ownership can also vary depending on factors such as employment, licensing agreements, where there is more than one person responsible for making the film. Copyright will be shared equally. Now, copyright in television broadcast, but only on in broadcast, not the underlying film, will be owned by the broadcaster. For example, the channel on which it was aired. The copyright owner of a film will only own copyright in the moving images and sounds of the film. So they will not necessarily own the copyright in the underlying works, including the film, such as the musical soundtrack or score or the screenplay. But the copyright in the underlying work will generally be owned by the creators unless there is an agreement assigning or transferring copyright. Uh, so that is about the copyright in terms of broadcasting, which is the ownership will be owned by the producer, the production company, or the person or company who commissioned the film. So that is all from me. I hope you all understand our presentation for tonight, for this evening. So yeah, anyone else want to say anything?
No, thank you.
Right. So if there's nothing to add, so we thank you. And I'm Muhammad Nauf. I'm from Group Muhammad Naufal, Izati, and Yana, and also I'm sorry. Thank you for your time and attention.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank
Salam.
you. Assalamualaikum.
You